guys, still remember our handcraft posters, the Japanese style one? So I got the stencils prepared here, and the video before I show you how to use the bubble paint, remember? And then for the bubble paint, I suggest you use ink. And now, here's I finished most of the bubbles part. Isn't it beautiful? Because I want to use it like the ocean part where the wave and the bubbles comes in, okay, when the beach ball drop into it. So now I want to add the background for it. This is too white for me, so I want to add more colors on the bottom. So now what I will use is I will use acrylic for that, okay. So because I want to have different shades of blue, so and white, and then what you need is I have a sponge for it. Because one sponge is better, let me show you. Let's come closer. Hello. Because you can tell the textures of using a paintbrush will be like that. You will have lots of lines. Maybe you don't want it, okay? Because you want to have a very soft and dreamy effect. That's why I use sponge for this area. So I will show you how I did it. So basically, just get the color you want, and then give it a little bit water, but it's not. Still, it's kind of rich, the pigment. Okay, and then it's just like, imagine you are, oops, dip it inside, okay, and have a circular motion, and then the area where you want to have the color. At first, maybe it's not that kind of nice, but eventually you just smudge it over through time, then it will be much nicer. So basically, I want the whole area to be covered up with blue in the corner. So you see actually what am I doing? Like I use another piece of paper, that newspaper, so that you don't get the tables dirty. Okay. So basically, I just use the sponge to do the edges of it. I saved some area like white because I want to flip it like the bubbles from the wave itself. Okay, so I didn't cover the whole thing up. Remember to save some white area if you want to create that effect. Okay, so here I got a very strong diagonal shapes coming through. So now the next step is I'm going to use my stencil here. So I want the ball to drop inside. So if I put it like this, the momentum of the work, I mean the direction of the work is very mundane, okay, because it's kind of dropping down in this direction. So I want to have a flowy one. That's why I turned my stencil, and part of the speech ball we're going to go inside. So basically I'm going to do this part, okay. This time I also use sponge, but see, I use a different one because I want to have a pointed one. And then I want to create a color range, gradations of it. So that's why I got, this time I want to use kind of this blue in our start. So same, dilute it a little bit with water, okay. It is a nice idea, always have a piece of rough paper to test your color. Okay, the idea of using the stencil, okay, if your paint is too wet, maybe it's too watery, then the water will peek through it, then you won't get a nice edge. So what I will suggest is maybe for this time, maybe I didn't add any water for the first bit, so I just get the color straight from the tube. Okay, got it? And then not too many, I can dab it in here first, just like what we did on the Collagraph for the Premier King project, if you still remember. So I start it with the edges of this. The nice things about having a pointed one, because you can have better control where it's stopped. Okay. So we're just repeating this notion, but later on I want to have a gradation. So here I will still want to use the dark blue for a while. Especially on the edges, make sure you dab it. Okay, now what I want to have a bit lighter tone, so I'm planning not to add any more color. I just use up whatever I have in my sponge, so that the color will eventually getting a bit lighter. And then I dab it a bit lighter. The nice things about Japanese style poster is they really have very magnificent color scheme. It's like a magic. Okay, so we should learn from the color scheme they used in their designs. Actually, it's very simple, but just the way they do it very delicately. So now I was mimicking the delicacy of the Japanese design. Now I want to change color with this color in the middle a little bit. So I change it. Then I can tap on here. Okay, and then I want to mix the two together. So I want this size to be a bit with this darker color. If your sponge has too much color, you just take them out. And then eventually I'm not taking any more color. So I'll just leave this part very light. Make sure I work on the edges so it got a sharp, nice edges. Okay, it's time to review your magic moment. So if you still want to work on it, the trick is one hand always still hold in place, and where the other you just check. See? Isn't it lovely? If you think, maybe I need a bit more of a color, maybe this part I think is too dark, then no problem. You can work on top of it. Remember, I dab it through. Maybe this color is too dark. I want to lighten up, so I get a lighter tone here, and here, and here. So you check again. You see that, everybody? So I think it's a nice idea to have a little bit light color in here as well. So I will still keep working on it, and then I will show you a minute later.